empire. But the New York AG, Letitia James, saying Trump and members of his family engaged in a decade-long scheme using fraud and misrepresentation as ways for personal gain. The state now seeking a $370 million penalty and also to ban Trump from participating in New York real estate. Senior reporter Catherine Falter is joining us now just outside the courthouse, along with executive editorial producer John Santucci and our legal contributor and assistant dean at Yale Jackson School of Global Affairs, Asha Rengappa. So, Catherine, from the courtroom to his hotel lobby, Trump insists he is innocent here.
Yeah, Kara, and you know this all too well. We heard a lot of the same talking points here down at 40 Wall Street. He arrived here with his lead lawyer, Alina Habba, who you heard from in that courtroom earlier today, and essentially said this is all politically motivated, that it's a political witch hunt, and repeated what he said to the court, to the judge today. He's asked a series of questions how he's going to juggle the campaign appearances with weaving in and out of the courtroom. We know that he will be in New Hampshire, for example, back on the campaign trail, but again, used this as essentially a campaign stump speech in addition to his legal woes. We're going to be seeing a lot of this in the future. You saw this in Washington, D.C. earlier this week when he was in that courtroom before an appeals court and then went down the street to a hotel to speak and essentially, again, attacked this all as politically motivated and claimed that he is being unfairly targeted.
And there may have been a few reporters in the room there throwing out questions, but he also had plenty of his supporters in the lobby as well to cheer him on. Asha, bottom line here, whatever Trump says, this case does have the possibility of dismantling his business empire.
Yes, absolutely. You know, we have a saying in the law, Kara, that if you have the facts, pound the facts. If you have the law, pound the law. If you don't have either, just pound the table. And so this is what he's doing because the defense that he's offered, the multiple defenses, which is just sort of distraction, really I don't think will overcome the vast, documentation and transactional evidence that the Attorney General has presented. And yes, if the judge finds that Trump is liable, then he is going to try to make the state of New York whole, which will mean disgorging Trump of his profits. And as you mentioned, the Attorney General is asking for $370 million and the corporate death penalty. So that is very much a possibility here.
So John, Trump said in court that his financial statements were perfect and that he is innocent, but that's not true.
No, the statements definitely were called under question multiple times when Donald Trump was on the stand, when his two adult children, Eric and Don, were both called on the stand as well. They, of course, running the company here when Donald Trump was living at the White House, and called into question about documents they signed that they admitted under oath that they didn't necessarily review all the supporting documents that went with it, right? Like measuring the size of Donald Trump's apartment, all of which here it turns they didn't have the accurate numbers.
So, Catherine,